Well, folks, strange times indeed. It looks like the United States and South Africa can actually kiss and make up. Yeah, that's right. All the differences must be fading away as the United States today joins South Africa in an action the world is not happy about. The 25th of February, 2025, the United States today joined Russia to vote against the United Nations General Assembly resolution condemning Russia's war against Ukraine in a stunning shift from years of U.S. policy, under the Biden regime, of course. Now, the vote against the Ukrainian and European-backed resolution saw the U.S. at odds with its longtime European allies and instead aligned with the aggressor in the war in the three-year anniversary of Moscow's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. It came as the Trump administration is pursuing discussions with Moscow about ending the war as the president ratcheted up his rhetoric towards Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Now, this resolution was adopted by the General Assembly with 93 votes in favor. It notes with full concern the full-scale invasion of Ukraine by the Russian Federation has persisted for 3 years and continues to have devastating and long-lasting consequences, not only for Ukraine, but also for other regions and global stability. And it calls for de-escalation and early cessation of hostilities and a peaceful resolution of the war against Ukraine. Now, interestingly enough, this has all happened before. Why is it that there is a vote in the General Assembly now on the 3-year anniversary of the war other than to poke the United States in the eye? Trump is trying to negotiate. He went to Saudi Arabia to meet with Putin to try to get him to come to the table to end this conflict. And what do the European allies do? They stab us in the back with the UN resolution, which will have no teeth, which will accomplish nothing other than piss off the Russians and make the Americans look bad. So the Europeans, hell-bent on a war in Ukraine, which has led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians and Russians, civilians and military, utter destruction of wholesale segments of Ukraine and destruction inside Russia as well. The Europeans are hell-bent on war, sending more arms, sending more resources, now talking about deploying their own troops there and expecting U.S. to backstop them. Yeah, who's the aggressor here? The Europeans or Russia? Clearly, Russia started the war and Russia's responsible for it. But the Europeans are the ones fueling this thing. And they're the ones that put this proposal out there in the General Assembly to embarrass Russia and the United States as they discuss peace. Why wasn't this resolution brought up a year ago, 18 months ago, 2 years ago? Why? Well, the U.S. introduced a rival General Assembly resolution to this one, which did not call Russia the aggressor or acknowledge Ukraine's territorial integrity. Prior to that vote in the General Assembly, Ambassador Dorothy Shea, who's currently the charge d'affaires at the U.S. mission to the United Nations, had urged all member states, including Ukraine and Russia, to back the resolution. Let's fade back in time, folks, to February of 2022, days after this invasion took place. Security Council Resolution 14808. Security Council fails to adopt draft resolution on ending Ukraine crisis. As the Russian Federation wields veto, Kiev's permanent representative tells the council president, "Your words have less value than a hole in a New York pretzel." Okay. That draft had been submitted by Albania and the United States, and it got just 11 members to side with him in the Security Council. It was vetoed by the Russian Federation, while China, India, and the United Arab Emirates all abstained. So it went from the Security Council, no action, to the General Assembly a month later on the 22nd of March, 2022. The General Assembly voted overwhelmingly to adopt a resolution demanding Russian Federation immediately end illegal use of force in Ukraine and withdraw all troops. Now that's March of 2022. We're now 3 years since that has passed. So here we are 3 years later. What's the purpose of this resolution other than embarrass the U.S. in the middle of peace negotiations? Something that the Biden regime never attempted. Something that NATO under Jens Stoltenberg never attempted. Never sought to have peace negotiations whatsoever. Never sought to end this bloody conflict that does not have to occur. Trump's trying. And so what do? They go to the UN General Assembly to pass a resolution which has no teeth, no meaning, no value whatsoever, to embarrass the United States and make it look like we're isolated. Shameful Europeans. Warmongers. That's what these people are. Oh, and now we're in bed with the South Africans. That resolution from March of 2022, many African states didn't vote for it to call out Russia. And chief among them, South Africa and the African National Congress. They're fellow travelers in the socialist world, loving the Russian oligarchs and their friends in Moscow. South Africa abstained and failed to call out Russia for its illegal invasion of Ukraine. So now, can we kiss and make up? Russia is someone that both South Africa and the United States have tried to prevent falling in disfavor. Put that one in your pipe and smoke that, folks. The ANC and Donald Trump are in agreement. Maybe the distance isn't so far. Cheers, everybody.